guys, I was watching, I've been feeling nostalgic, right? And I was watching a video on YouTube about Robertella. You all know I grew up in Robertella housing projects in Chicago from infancy to at least 16 years old. I believe we moved out of Robertella when I was about 16. But I still was there every day just about, because I went to DuSable High School. And I didn't want to transfer high schools when we moved across town, so I had to catch either public transportation to get to school, or I had to walk to school, which was about 7 miles. We moved about 7-8 miles away from Robertella, which put us in a totally different environment. We went from living in the projects to living in a middle class apartment. I was watching that video. It was a documentary that was made about Robertella around the time that I lived there, like in the 80s. I lived there from the early 70s to the end of the 80s, right? And so the documentary was done in the 80s. And what they depict in that motherfucking documentary is not my reality. Like, it was not my reality. And I was like, my mom is a fucking boss. You hear me? She raised me and my brothers in that environment, but we did not see that environment. You know what I'm saying? That I'm scared to walk up the stairs because you never know what's in the stairway. You could get raped or jump. Never was I ever afraid to walk up the stairs. I lived on the 8th floor. So a lot of times the elevators didn't work. Shit you not. And so you would have to hit them stairs and get all the way up to the 8th floor and back. My mom was a fucking boss. You hear me? And in the video, they were talking about how they were scared. You know, people were getting raped and beat in the elevators. Never was I ever afraid of anything like that. Now, my mom did raise me in the church, and I do believe that I am covered in the blood. I have always believed I was covered in the blood. When it's my time to go, I'ma go. I'm not gonna go 1 second before that. So you can do all the shit you want to. You can act all kind of fools you want to. I'm not leaving this plane and go to the next plane until God ordains it. You know what I'm saying? And if God ordained it, then it was meant to be. What I'm gonna be scared for? So that's always been my outlook. But they was like, it's a desperate situation, and it's a depressed situation, and it's a fear, it's a covering of hopelessness in this project. And I was like, never did I ever feel that way growing up in Robertella. I didn't realize we was po-po. I did growing up in Robertella housing project. And I give that all to my mom, because again, my mom was a motherfucking boss. You hear me? None of that shit came in my house. Even when my dad was out there doing his shit, it didn't come in that house. I did not see it. I'm just like, wow. And after I watched like half of it, I didn't even watch the whole documentary, because I was like, this is not the fuck that I encountered in Robertella housing projects. This is not what I encountered. This was not my reality. I'm sure it was people's reality, but it wasn't mine. Like, it wasn't mine. And I'm just blown. And I'm watching the video, not listening to the words, because now I done tuned it out. But I'm seeing these projects, and they showing where we used to have to walk down the corridor. They showing the breezeway that could pick a nigga up if you weighed less than 30 pounds. You hear what I'm saying? Like, babies was gonna be flying. And I'm remembering all this shit, but I'm not remembering it. I'm not remembering it the way they're depicting it. You know what I'm saying?
And I was like, and then they're like, there are generations upon generations of families that grew up here, and it ain't nothing but women and their children. And the average is, when you group them all together, one woman and 4 kids, and the woman raising the kids by herself, and it's just hopelessness.
And that was not my reality. Like, in the beginning of my 7th grade year, my mom did kick my dad out for infidelity. And so she did become a part of the statistic of a woman in a household raising children by herself. But even in that, she's a motherfucking boss, right? Like, my dad was gone for I lived in them housing projects for at least another 4 years with my dad being gone. And my mom still kept it. I'm just like, wow. I never felt like this is all it is for me. You know what I'm saying? I never felt like, well, I need to pop out me some babies and go ahead and get me an apartment because this is how niggas live. You know? I never felt that way. Now, yeah, my mom did bring me down south every summer. We spent almost every summer of my formative years down here. So I did get to see people of my complexion live in a different way. I got to go to Archie's house and see his fine house, and he's a relative of mine. And I got to go to Auntie house and just see her living in a house and know that, you know, niggas don't just live in the projects. But that was never my mindset, and the video depicted it of everybody who live in there. That's their mindset, and it's far and in between that a nigga get out of this, and this is just what's like. I mean, I had some girlfriends who immediately had babies so they can get out their mama's house and get their own project house and get their own welfare check and get their own food stamp. And yeah, I did see.
My grandma lives, this wasn't me, but my grandma lives on the 3rd floor, and my mama lives on the 7th floor, and then I got me an apartment on the 14th floor, and we all live in the project. And grandma had 6 kids, and mama had 8 kids, and now I'm working on my 4th kid. I did see that.
And I did see that in 13, 14, 15 years old. But the reality that they depicted of hopelessness, my mom did not let me see that reality. That was not my reality. I always knew that this right here wasn't it for me. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying that I'm balling out of control, but I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? And I just hate that that was the depiction that is shown. But that was some people reality living in Robert Teller housing project. There was gangs, there was shooting, there was out of wedlock pregnancies. You know what I'm saying? There were horrible things going on in Robert Teller housing project, but it didn't touch me. Yeah, I got into some fights, did some thuggish shit, but I think that the shit that I did, I could have very well did in the suburbs. It's like, it wasn't. That's because that chick right there is from Robert Teller. Everything about me say Chicago. It do. A lot of shit about me say Robert Teller housing project, because it's in me. But that hopeless shit, my mom was a motherfucking boss. Is a boss. Because she still don't play no games with your ass, right? But I went looking for my particular building, my project, 5001. And I found one. It's been floating throughout this whole video. That was the project that I was born and raised in. But I can't, I'm trying to find me it where you see the whole building, because the picture you all see, it don't show my apartment. Mine was 808, and that's cut off. So I'm still trying to find that picture. But in trying to find it, I was looking up videos and articles, and every article, every video was like impressive. Alright, I'm still looking though.